And we are live. Oh, actually, you know what? I think we might actually be live because I was going to make this unlisted. And no, we are unlisted. Okay. And we are live. Hello and welcome to the Benefit of the Doubt podcast, super late edition. With me, as always, is Cliff. How you doing, Cliff?
I'm doing great. I'm in space for the first time.
Yeah, I
Been
like it.
preparing for this for years. I went through. No, actually, I just got a green screen. That's all that
Yeah,
is.
and
But
for those of you listening to the high quality audio feed, Cliff has done some remodeling
yes,
in his office. He's bought things for the podcast, which is kind of fun. Like not phones for the podcast, but like actual like props and stuff. So it's kind of fun. So it is August. It is October 2nd. It should be August 2nd, but it is October 2nd because hiatus took a little bit longer than we thought it was going to. But listeners, unfortunately, when you're making a podcast like this and you go on break and you're just kind of sitting around, there comes a time when you either have to like move forward or you just have to cancel the whole thing. So we're moving forward, baby.
yeah.
Yeah. So
He almost got you, didn't he?
I just wanted to deke you out there a little bit. So
Yeah.
now this is our official relaunch party of the podcast. So it's a bit of a party. It's just me and Cliff because normally I think a lot of these are going to be live, but this one is not because there are some other medicinal issues going on here that might need to be edited out later. So that's why we're not live on the YouTubes as we speak. But speaking of the YouTubes, for those of you who are watching this on YouTube, I am going to turn on a new feature that we're adding to the podcast called Review Cam.
Review cam.
And this is again, for those of you who are listening, this is a downward facing camera that is going to be a lot more prominent in future shows because we're going all in on reviews. And I think before we get too far ahead of time, Review Cam is gonna
bourbon cam.
This is a Scotch Cam. This is a
Scotch
12-year-old Glenlivet. Thank you very much.
Ooh,
this is
nice.
a celebration because the podcast is officially back. So we're going to have a little celebratory drink and we're going to see where things take us.
All
but
I
anyway,
got is a Diet Coke, but we'll toast.
Clinky.
So when he mentioned medicinal issues, that's not what he was talking about, by the way.
No, this is not. This is not. We're actually just going to go ahead and turn off Review Cam because we'll get back to that later. So let's start off just as a friendly reminder because I think I might actually pin this as like the channel commercial. But the Benefit of a Doubt podcast was started in March of 2020, and we are currently in our 4th season. And it is a podcast that is dedicated to all things technology, news, reviews, and interviews. And as of season 4, we're cutting one of those off and we're cutting the other one in about in half because we're probably not going to do as many interviews, although we are still going to do the Beyond a Doubt series. So those are interviews, so that's fun. And we're going to talk about news occasionally on Beyond a Doubt, or not Beyond a Doubt, the other one, the other stupid pun, Doubting Thomas. That's the one. I swear this is my first sip. Anyway, so we're going to do, but we're going to be kind of double, triple, quadrupling down on reviews going forward. And this is going to be a reviews channel. And this is going to be what you're seeing right now, plus Mr. Review Cam, is what you're seeing now is going to be largely what a lot of our reviews are going to be composed of. It's going to be something of a hybrid between a podcast review and a video review where we're going to talk about a product, we're going to show you the product, and we're going to, use the product on the Review Cam. Let's take that case out of there. And we're going to use the product on the camera and we're going to show you this is what the camera looks like and stuff like that. And we're going to talk about how it is to use iOS, how it is to use the, let's see if I can think of something here real quick. Yeah, okay, I'll just do Pocket Cast. And we're going to talk about how it is to use the, the Dynamic Island. That's what I'm trying to say, but it's not.
This is great TV.
It is great. There we go. See the Dynamic Island.
Look at
That's what we're gonna. That's what we're going to talk about. So, and then I'm going to turn off the Stuff You Should Know podcast because thanks, guys. Love you, but you're not relevant right now. But anyway, so yeah, so this is what a large part of the podcast is going to be. If we're reviewing something that is larger than can comfortably fit in an area like so, then we'll probably shoot some B-roll and play that in the background while we talk about it. But essentially, this is going to be kind of a back and forth conversation, a panel podcast, if you will, between Cliff and I talking about a given product.
Exciting.
So, yeah, it is.
I like Review Cam. I want to welcome it and wish it luck. And thank you for being the third member of our team.
You're very welcome. Now he's going to go away. Okay, so bye, Review Cam. Anyway, so this is kind of an official relaunch of the podcast, and here is the plan. Excuse me, going forward. We're going to do Beyond a Doubt once a month. For those of you not familiar, Beyond a Doubt is our interview show where we bring in a friend from the industry, from outside the podcast, and usually me, sometimes Cliff too. We talk to them for an hour and just chat with them and see where the conversation takes us. Sometimes we talk about tech, sometimes we talk about being a nursing assistant, sometimes we talk about Lego. It really just kind of depends on where the conversation goes, and that's a fun way to do things, and that's how I kind of like to do it.
Yeah, it's nice to have that sort of open-ended, and it allows us to bring in a variety of people that wouldn't necessarily fit in, the one box that we kind of
in like
do
that
more
kind
often, right?
That kind of a format. And then we're going to do the review videos, which we just talked about. That's going to be and I'm sorry, I should say, for Beyond a Doubt, that is going to appear on the YouTube channel that, let's face it, statistically speaking, chances are you're watching right now, compared to the audience that's listening. But those will also appear on the main podcast feed as a high quality audio version. Then we're going to talk about when we're going to do the review videos, which we already kind of talked about with Mr. Review Cam, and that's going to be Cliff and I talking about a given product. Whichever one of us doesn't have it will ask questions of the other one. But yeah, it's going to be more of a discussion back and forth with some footage of the actual product in use. That is going to be on YouTube only. And so you are going to want to make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that bell and comment and like down below and do all the other things that YouTubers do that I haven't bothered to learn yet. And then finally, we're going to have Doubting Thomas, which is still going to be once a month. That's going to appear towards the end of the month. That is going to cover news from the month. That's going to cover reviews that we did during the month. That's going to cover some top stories, some like big news items that happened. And Cliff and I are just generally going to talk about technology. So that's going to be kind of like an open format type of a show where we just kind of talk about, if you've listened to Doubting Thomas in the past, you kind of have an idea of what that's going to be like. Those episodes will also appear on the podcast feed and on YouTube. So in terms of content distribution, the podcast feed is going to get Beyond a Doubt, and it's going to get Doubting Thomas. The YouTube channel is going to get everything. So honestly, I'm not saying you should subscribe to the YouTube channel, but if you're a fan of the show, you should subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Absolutely.
Patreon was paused once more for October because I honestly wasn't 100% positive we were coming back in October, but I paused it once again for October. But all the content that we do, pretty much the very second that it is ready. So like this video that we're doing right now that is not going out live to the YouTube channel, this is going to go to Patreon the second that we're done here. Not the second, but within but and it's going to go on Patreon before it comes to the YouTube channel. So now in the future, Patreon might shift over to YouTube subscriptions and memberships, simply because it's a more of a one-stop shopping type thing. Like administratively on our end, it's a little bit easier, but we need to get to 1,000 subscribers to get there. So we're not there yet. So Patreon will be the way to get that early access content going forward. So yeah, that's kind of what this channel is. So if you're watching this video because it is pinned to our homepage and you want to know what this channel is all about, this is the part where you can go ahead and hit the stop button and move on to the next video of like cats or some shit, whatever you want to watch. So speaking of which, in the past I have tended to veer away from coarse language. that's not going to be as much of a consideration anymore. Because you know what? We talk shit. That's just what we got to do. So anyway, yeah. So that is benefit of the doubt in a nutshell. No, it's not. This is benefit of a doubt in a nutshell. What am I doing in this nutshell? This is a crazy nutshell. Sorry, I just watched the
This is
Austin
me in a
Powers.
nutshell.
This is crazy. Anyway, here's to you.
Adam just watched the trio
Awesome.
of those movies, and so if you don't get a late 90s to early 2000s reference, it's because we're old, and you may not have even heard of Austin Powers movies, although I don't know what the median age for our listenership is. But
oh my god, I mean, is it possible that the median age for our listenership is young enough that they haven't heard of Austin Powers? You know what? It's very possible. It's very possible, and that's fine. I'm not judging. We're
I was
just
just
old.
talking to a coworker yesterday was it yesterday? No, I'm sorry, it was Friday. What day is it?
Time is
so,
meeting.
so I was talking to a coworker this week about the Austin Powers movies. I think I actually did make a movie reference, and then I was like, they kind of just gave me a blank stare. And this person happens to be, I think, 23.
Oh,
and no, they had not seen it. So
those were in the 90s. Yeah. Okay.
Honestly, can I just say, like, this is not a rant. This is just an observation. It's like the older I get, because you don't really feel any different inside other than just more aches and pains. All right.
Right. Right.
But staying relevant when it comes
To your references,
to references,
your pop culture references,
your pop culture references, it's so hard.
Can I counter that? I just watched No Time to Die because it just came to Amazon Prime. It's the latest James Bond movie. Billie Eilish did the song for that. I had no
It was
idea.
so good.
It was really good, and I'm just like, who is this? Who is this? So I looked it up. I'm like, whoa, that's Billie Eilish. That's pretty.
I didn't really like the movie that much, and I know this isn't a movie podcast, but
right.
I really did like the intro song. Billie Eilish is pretty awesome. She's like 20.
I know.
And she's been around for 4 or 5 years, so that's kind of amazing.
She was on Hot Ones.
That's right.
Really the only reason I know her. But did you see David Blaine on Hot Ones? They just started their new season.
I have not watched that one yet. It's on my YouTube feed. I was gonna wait for my wife.
It's
an
interesting one, so I'm just.
I bet he's been making the media rounds. I don't know if he's got something coming out, like a special or what, but
he was there promoting something. I don't remember what it was though. But all right. Anyway, so we should get back to what we are doing here. So we really don't have a whole heck of a lot more to talk about. We just really wanted to come on and talk about the fact that the podcast was in fact coming back. It is not dead, despite what my podcast player says every time I pull it up, because it always says this show has ended or is taking a break. Shut up. Anyway, you've ended or taking a break. Anyway, so I've just been going through some stuff, man. But anyway, so as a little bonus, we wanted to bring back, at least for my end, Mr. Review Cam, because we want to talk about some of the devices that we're going to be reviewing in the not too distant future. So hello, Mr. Review Cam. By the way, this backdrop here is totally bogus. I get that. We're just not quite ready with the new one yet.
I like your drink rim.
Yeah,
these
mouse pads are insanely hard to keep clean.
Oh, it's so true.
Like, how do you do that? Comment down below. How do you keep these bastards clean? Because I cannot do it. I've tried everything.
I cleaned my work one the other day with one of those wipes that you like a Lysol wipe that you pull out of the can.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about? It didn't do a perfect job, but it did a pretty good job. It got a lot of the palm grease that you get from where your mouse is. That turns it this sort of like dusty brown. It got a lot of that off.
This is my first time having like a desk wide one though, which is kind of nice. I kind of dig it. But anyway, so if you can just ignore all this, yucky dog hair and crap that's all over it, we'll get to the products, because I think that's going to be.
That's what everybody's here for, Adam.
That's what everybody's here for, honestly. So let's start off with the Nothing earbuds.
Oh, you got them in.
I did get them in.
You got the whites. I have the blacks.
Okay. So I actually got these through a new company that we're working with called Hey Up. You can check them out I'll put a link in the description. But this is a company that they basically they work with brands and they work with consumers and they work with creators to kind of like bring us all together in like this whole community where you can talk about, various products. So the Nothing earbuds came from Hey Up. They go, I'm not talking to you, Siri. They go to very nicely with the Nothing phone, which I just finished reviewing for Slash Gear. And I'm okay with them so far. Like I've been using them for a few days now, and like they're about $99 worth of headphone. So I know a lot of people have said that these are amazing. They're not. They're pretty good. They're just not, they're just not amazing.
So here's my quick assessment, because I did do a review of it, and see what you think after I
Did
see
we
you
do
taking them
did we
out
do
there.
these on the podcast?
Yes, we did.
We did. Okay.
You know what? It was a what was our
Was it a
short
tech?
review?
Yeah.
That was a tech. Yeah.
Okay. Well, and these might also be like, we might actually give them the name Tech. Yeah. I actually haven't decided about that yet. But anyway.
And you're going to do your own review, but for me,
Yeah.
like I'll just go. The things that I really like about them, number one, are the fact that they are the most comfortable.
They are very comfortable.
Earbuds
They are
that I've
indeed
ever,
very comfortable.
yeah, true wireless earbuds I've ever used.
You know what the downside with the review cam is?
What's that?
It's like, how about that? Does that work? Is that good? That's
there
good,
you go.
Yeah.
They are pretty stylish. Very comfortable. I thought the sound is pretty good.
The sound is good. The sound is definitely good. I like the transparency mode. That's one of the better ones that I've used.
Also, for me, the controls are, for capacitive controls are some of the better ones.
Oh yeah, those are very cool. I definitely dig the capacitive control.
And then I like
controls.
the little thumb indent, because you can kind of twirl it.
Yeah, you can make it turn a little.
Yeah, so that's just a few things.
Yeah. So anyway, that's going to be one thing that I'm going to be reviewing here. Did you want to talk about something, Mr. Cliff?
Yeah, so I've got a few things that I've got in the can to review. The
Mhm.
first of these we've actually had for a while. We just haven't had a chance to get to it yet. But let me see if I can squeeze it in here. This is and it's going to be reversed on video here, but it is from Geekom, and this is a mini PC.
Oh, fun!
Yeah,
that
so
is
you
very.
Can, for an
small.
idea of scale, that's right next to my head. So
yeah,
I mean, it is definitely not the smallest that you can get out there, but compared to a lot of the ones that aren't like the Intel NUC or Nuke size, which this is definitely smaller than that. A lot of the ones that are mini PCs that are in that like $250 to $400 range have like an Intel Celeron or an Intel Pentium Gold or something like that, and usually not a whole lot of RAM. But this has an 8th gen.
I was gonna say that's like an i5, isn't it?
Yeah, it's an 8th gen Core i5. It's got 8 gigabytes of RAM. I mean, it's a pretty stout little machine.
And it looks like we have just right off the top of my head, we got HDMI, USB-C, 2 USB A's.
Let's see here.
On Ethernet port.
Yeah, so on the front you've got USB-C.
Okay.
Let's see if we can get it here. USB-C, USB-A, a headphone out, and something else too.
Power button.
Yep, on the power, and then you have an SD card reader.
Oh, nice, a memory card,
which is really nice.
That would be the type of thing that would be so easy to leave out of a mini PC.
Oh, exactly. I mean, honestly, I have definitely reviewed many laptops that have way less I/O than this.
Yeah,
so I've already done that side. Let's see. There we go.
Back.
So yeah, USB. It looks like USB 3A, USB A 3.0.
Yeah.
Ethernet. I'm thinking that's a mini display port out.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it is. And then the power.
Right. Exactly. And power.
Barrel plug on the end there.
HDMI. Another USB-C. So I mean, it's got a lot of ports.
Yeah.
And cool. I have fired this up. I haven't had a chance to really put it through its paces, but I will tell you that it comes with a very clean, just almost like pure stock, without bloatware version of Windows 11, which is really nice.
If memory serves, didn't you record a podcast?
I did. Yeah,
I think you did.
It was more than adequate for running.
Cool.
I think I was using Audition.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to firing it up again, and thankfully. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Thunderbolt, so I can't use my dock with it. But it's just because it has so many ports. All I have to do is just unplug things from my dock, and I'll just use my Bluetooth keyboard and mouse, and it'll be a simple setup. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to reviewing that.
All right.
What have you got on the?
On my end, I have the
when
Anker
review came.
737 power bank. This is a 25,000 milliamp hour battery pack. And, just for scale, this is the iPhone 14, not the iPhone 14 Pro, the iPhone 14. And it's about as tall as that, but it's a lot thicker. I mean, it's almost like a, it's a rectangle, obviously, but like from a top, it's more like almost like a square. So
it's funny without before you started telling me what it was. It almost looks like like a a doorbell or something, or a
you know what
ring
I can
cam.
do? I've got a fancy new caliper now that I bought. So I can tell you it is exactly 54.8 millimeters wide.
Wow.
And 49.4 millimeters long, deep, I guess. And then it is just barely beyond the capability of my 6-inch, but it's 154.2 millimeters. So it is very heavy. This is a GAN powered charging brick.
Right, which usually those are super dense.
They are super dense, and this thing is no exception. I mean, you could do some serious damage if you hit someone over the head with this. I'm serious. Like this is like borderline a brutal weapon. And then it has 2 USB-C ports on the top, and that can actually power a laptop, which is awesome.
Wow.
And then
Was it
also
65 watt out or
I want to say 100.
100? Wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I'll give the exact specs during the actual review,
Right.
but I also like it because it has a LED screen.
Yeah, that's
So
nice. Is that
it
your
shows
battery percentage?
Yeah, that's the battery percentage.
Okay.
My son stole this for a while, so I need to charge it back up. It takes forever to charge, but so that's that. Did you want to go? You've got
Yeah.
a new thing that you just bought.
Well, so before I talk about that, since we're talking about power banks,
Oh, okay.
I have this one from our friends at Mophie
Mm-hmm.
/Zag. So this is the Mophie Power Station, and it is also, I believe, a GAN charger.
And I'll complement that by doing the Power Station Mini, which is basically like a little baby version,
a mini version of it.
Yeah,
So
like
this, yeah, we could just
here's my mouse, and here's my
I'll
here's the
just
Power Station.
hold it next to my head, so you kind of get a
And I know this one is a 5,000 watt, and I think yours is
this is a
10?
10,000.
10. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
So I'm gonna assume both of these are able to provide the same amount of power out, since they're very similar. This one does 20 watts, which is enough to do fast charging with an iPhone. In fact, I think that's the limit for an iPhone.
Yeah, this one says 20 watts right there.
Yep. So it says up to 43 hours of video playback, and it will charge an iPhone. Although I'm not sure if that's the case with because I'll talk about what I'm about to talk about next, but I do have an iPhone that I'm going to review. But it says it'll charge an iPhone up to 50% in 30 minutes.
Fun.
So I'm guessing that's like a standard like your iPhone 14.
Yeah. And then let me pile on with my Mophie stuff. And this is actually going to be the last stuff that I show off. So I've got this Mophie Speedport 67. This is a 67 watt charger. It's just a charging plug. Nice. I haven't actually even opened the box yet. So let's do an unboxing right here.
Review cam's getting a workout.
Yeah, it is. It is. Let's see here. So how do we open this? The scotch is not helping. Our
tagline could be watch grown men struggle to open boxes.
It could be. That's like, there we go. All right. So kind of shot out there. Okay. So yeah. So it's little. I mean, it's got 2 USB-C ports on it, which is great. Put in perspective, this is the Mophie Power Station, so it's about it's a little bit smaller
in width and in thickness, but just a little bit longer for the charger.
Yeah, and
or
like
for
actually,
the battery.
Put it a little bit more in perspective. This is the charger that comes with the OnePlus 10T. Oh. So it's about the same size. It's actually smaller than the one that comes with the OnePlus.
The one that comes with the 10T is a beefy boy. He's a
it is. Yeah, it is. You could do damage with this guy too. But this has 2 USB-C outs, which are very nice, and this maxes out at 67 watts, which is very cool. And then actually, I've got a few more other things from Mophie. Let's just round out Mophie. First of all, I've got this. This is a 25.
It's so big.
It is. This is a 25,000 milliamp hour battery. So
Ooh.
let's
Is
put
that
that in
is that
perspective
like
with
a
the
cloth
Anchor.
texture on the outside?
It is. It is a
I
very nice
like that.
cloth texture. Put into perspective, like with the Anchor, I
Mm.
think this would ship better in a bag, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, but this is a little bit more of a brick. But this has 3 USB-C ports on the end of it, and this takes forever to charge. I had this plugged in for like a day to get it charged all the way charged up. So this is able to of outputting 100 watts, 45 watts, and 20 watts. So 120 watts, 120 watts total.
Total. Yeah.
But and it's got like the 4 charging pips on the side. This is a beefy, but it's actually not that heavy, not compared to the Anchor. But the Anchor is also GAN, so it's a little bit more
Right. Mm-hmm.
compact. So
Yeah, I like
there's
that the industrial or design, at least the materials that they use, kind of remind me of what Google started with using the
oh
wrapping
yeah.
things in cloth for like the Google Home speakers and things like that.
Yeah. I know. I see what you're saying there. And then I've actually got a couple more Mophie things. Mophie just sent me a big freaking box. Because honestly, Zag and Mophie, like they're all sub brands of each other. They're one of our longest
Mm-hmm.
relationships that we've had with this podcast, which is awesome. So we love them. So this, actually, let's talk about this guy first. This is the Speedport 120 travel kit. So this is like a little cloth bag, and you open it up, and inside you have this power station with a plug on the back, but on the front you have USB-C 100 watt, USB-C 100 watt, USB-C 20 watt, and then a USB-A 12 watt, and it's capable of doing 120 watts total. It comes with the power cable, obviously, but it also comes with 2 USB-C to USB-C and USB-C to Lightning cables.
Oh wow!
So, and they
All
all
in a little
go
travel kit.
into this little travel kit. So, and it's bad
Good
design
good
there
luck
because
getting
the
good luck
Velcro
getting
sticks
those
to the
back in
wall.
there as neatly once you have to once you
Right.
actually unwrap those.
So, and
That's
then
the experience I always have.
you just
Very
wrap that
nice. I
up,
like
and
that though.
yeah,
It's got that
that is
like
very slick.
that sort of I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but like if you're a chef and you have like a chef's knife and you have the little roll up
Yeah,
case.
yeah. It's like it's a little kind of carrying case like that, and then this. Sorry, Scotch break. This is a Mophie travel charger with MagSafe. So you stick it on there, and it's got MagSafe capability. It has a stand that comes out on the back,
Oh, nice.
but it gets even better. You got a USB-C port on the side with which outputs to 20 watts, and on the bottom a tripod mount. So you can put it on a tripod, stick your iPhone on there, and film something, and then you can film stuff while your phone is charging. Although, so it's fun. I like that. I like that. The stand, the mount for the tripod on the bottom is what really sold me on this. But the other night I was actually using it, and this does pass through charging, so you can plug it in down here, and then stick your iPhone on there, and it'll charge the battery and charge the iPhone overnight, which is nice. And I actually use this as kind of like a nightstand the other night. So I was kind of just watching.
Super good if you're doing like a vlogging trip, like something that maybe you and I don't do a whole lot of, but I can see how that'd be really useful for a lot of different.
But maybe that'll change.
Yeah, exactly.
But anyway, okay, so that is all my stuff. Since we were on the power station, since we were on the power station train, I wanted to go ahead and let that pull into the station. So now we could go ahead and turn off Mr. Review Cam, and you can talk about your. Actually, I'll leave Review Cam on because mine is kind of relevant here too. But what's your last item there, Mr. Cliff?
Well, it's actually 3 different items, but they're all tied together. So
okay,
I did something I thought I wouldn't do anytime soon.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the podcast in the past.
Yeah. But I'm sorry, Dynamic Island pulled me in. I got on the boat and I landed and I am happy. I got my beach umbrella set up.
Mm-hmm.
But so this is my iPhone Pro 14 Pro Max.
Hey, that's the waterfall that's by your
It
house.
is. That
I
is
have a photo of that myself.
That's because it's from our trip.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
That is
cool.
my trip. That is my background photo right now.
Oh, that's fun.
So and
So
I'm not gonna go to the trouble of demonstrating the dynamic island because you've already done that. So I've been carrying this around until Friday without a case, so over a week. And while I love the iPhone 14 and 14 Pro style, like slab sides, it feels really great in the hand, and that actually is easy to hold.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a phone that costs this much, it's just
oh my god,
it is heart wrenching. And I had a few close calls. I would say more than I normally have. Honestly, I don't know if it's something to do with the slab sides. It just makes it a little easier to flip out of the hand, or maybe God was just testing me. I really don't know.
Did you get Did you get Apple Care with it?
I did. I'm actually paying like the $10 a month or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I did the 2 years worth.
Yep.
Because I learned this from Max Weinbach. If you get the 2 years worth of Apple Care and you sell it in a year, you can transfer it, and that actually kind of increases the price of your resale value because you can include a year of Apple Care along with it.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's been Apple's MO for Apple Care forever. Like I had a MacBook Pro back in the day that had Apple Care, and that was one of the selling points with it. So, but yeah, so I finally got a case, and I don't know, you get so many cases in that you probably don't have to do a whole lot of research in like your case of choice. You kind of just choose your favorite from the ones that you get in from our partners.
Right.
I went with one from Peak Design, and you probably have heard of Peak Design if you are photographer, or maybe if you follow some of the creators that are out there. I know there are several people that we know in our circles that use Peak bags because they're really targeted more towards people who are videographers and photographers. And their bags are not inexpensive, but they are totally worth it. And I will say the same thing about actually the case is pretty comparable to some of the more like medium price cases out there. If you get the ones that are like leather, I mean, they're gonna like a Nomad case or even Apple's case costs like $20 more than this. This was $39.95. And it has, I mean, just premium materials, seamless, like this kind of cloth textured back. And it's just like a finer, a more tightly weaved version of what you had on that. Some of the stuff that you were showing from Mophie. Very protective. And then this, like the surround here, this is machined aluminum, as is this part right here.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Which is really premium case. But what's cool about this, not only does it work with MagSafe, you could just throw your MagSafe charger on there, but then they make us the same series of cases for non-Apple devices. And you see this looks a little bit different. What I'm for our audio listeners, there's like this little indentation.
Okay.
And Peak has a whole series of accessories that work with this. There's like a belt clip. There's a mount that goes in your car.
Oh my God, a belt clip for your phone. That is so easy.
Yes. Well, it's like it's more of that like photographer style. So just it works with their whole system of things that you can work with their bags and things like that. So, and then they have some more general design ones. Like they have a wallet, then they have another wallet that also has a kickstand built into it, similar to what your charger had in there, where it just kind of flips off on the back.
Okay.
And then there's what I opted to go for, which is this. It actually comes with this nice little
which blends in with the green screen, apparently.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing about before when I was trying to show this off. So let me see if I can get it. I really like the thunk that you get here with it. I think it's this way. Actually, let me get it. And it's just, oh yeah.
Okay, so that clips on there, and then
this way? Actually, here it is. That's the way it goes. It's kind of hard to tell. So yeah, this is a tripod.
Okay.
For photography. Oh, there we go. And I'll see if I can get a little closer to the screen. But okay, so it just folds down like this. Then you fold out your two legs. Zoop. And then you've got a stand.
It's a tripod. That's cool.
It's a tripod, and it also rotates, or the back of it rotates, so you can do a portrait or horizontal, and then it just flips up, and then it's just a little clip on the back of your phone when you're not using it.
That's legit.
It is. And
Like
again, completely machined out of aluminum. It's a solid piece, and it better be for $79.95.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. That's a
So
little on the pricey side.
it's definitely on the pricey side, and they're one of those companies that kind of like Apple stuff. It just doesn't go on sale a whole lot because I think it's desirable. The good thing is though, because they've been making these cases for a few years, and I assume they'll continue to make them, these accessories will work with future cases that you buy for your phones if you upgrade, or if you have multiple phones like we do. Like they make a case for the Pixel 6 and for Samsung phones.
Nice.
So I'll be reviewing that along with the phone
Indeed.
itself.
Looking forward to that. And it occurs to me, like as we were like wrapping up your look at the at the tripod there, this has probably not been a terribly entertaining podcast for people that are going to be listening to the high quality feed. So by all means, go check out the YouTube feed. But I mean, again, the important thing to say here is that, you know, we're back. We're back and better than ever. We're kind of pivoting. Remember, change the plan, not the goal. So we've changed the plan a little bit. And as far as like frequency of reviews are concerned, we're still honestly kind of working that out. Some weeks we might do 2, some weeks we might do none. So it's just going to be a question of like how much time we have available and how much product do we have into review, and you know, specifically how I can keep this separate from my work over at Slash Gear, because that has been interesting. But anyway, as for me, you know, professionally speaking, when we left off, I was kind of in a weird place. I am at Slash Gear right now, not quite full time, not quite part-time, just really just freelancing, paying the bills. That's really my only outlet that I'm working with right now. I have a couple of others that I could go to that I'm still trying to figure out like how much time Slash Gear is going to take. But yeah, Slash Gear has been pretty much my home for the last couple of months, and let me just say, it is a good home. I'm really enjoying the work that I'm doing there. I'm enjoying the people that I'm working with doing that, you know, there. It's really been awesome. So shout out to the Slash Gear folk, because Chris Davies is just as fun to work with as he is on Twitter. In fact, I would say in some cases even more so.
Former guest on Beyond a Doubt, I believe, right?
A couple times. Yeah, he's been on this podcast a couple of times. But it turns out he's just as good a boss as he is a good buddy. So that's been a lot of fun. And yeah, so I mean that's kind of what's been going on. Did you have anything else that you wanted to talk about, Cliff, before we
honestly, so this is a small thing, right? But if you go back and watch a lot of the videos that we've done, especially over the last like 3 or 4 months, you'll see me switching mics just all the time, because that's sort of my like side passion, right? I'm always just trying to find that sound that I like, and I think I finally found it. The point that I wanted to say is that I've just really missed podcasting, and I've had this mic for like a month and a half, and I haven't been able to use it just on video calls, and it's just not the same. It's like having a Ferrari and just keeping it in the garage.
That's fun.
I finally get to let it stretch its legs. So yeah, I guess I could review this. I don't know how many people are interested in mic reviews. I mean, there definitely are YouTube channels out there for that, but this is the Aerodynamic 327D, something like that. That's not Aerodynamic. I'm sorry. This is Electro Voice.
Okay.
I was looking at that was a 40 and slip. I was looking at a Aerodynamic mic yesterday, so that was on my mind. But yeah, so Electro Voice is sort of the one of the industry standards. They've been around a long time, and models of this mic are in radio stations across America in various forms. But yeah, so this cool. Again, this is great for the for the audio version of the podcast, but it's got this vibration mount or shock mount that has it's almost like a horseshoe. And
I did not hear a thing when you did that, which is kind of cool.
It's amazing, right? And if you ever watch trying to think, I one of the, but anyway, if they have a mount like this in you're watching like a radio broadcast, they'll just grab it in from the side and swing it in, and what you're hearing is that mic swing away and come back closer to my mouth, and there's nearly no vibration sound. It's pretty amazing because it's got these rubber bands just letting it float.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
this is the first time I'm able to use it on benefit of the doubt. So I'm excited. So yeah,
Yeah.
so going back to the just the fact, I'm really happy to be back and podcasting and creating stuff for you guys. And I'm really excited to be doing I wouldn't say completely different, but it's much more frequent for us in terms of creating video content.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think honestly, just videos are kind of where we need to be, kind of where things need to go. And it's the type of thing that I have been wanting to do for a long time, but I was trying to find the right formula. And I've been talking to a, a number of people in the industry for a long time about like a video complement to podcasting for reviews and stuff like that. And I think this might actually be the formula. So I'm really hoping that this I really hope that you enjoy it. I really hope that not you,
Right.
Cliff. I mean, obviously, I hope you enjoy it, but I really hope that you, the watcher, the video watcher, enjoy it because I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think it's gonna be different than what you typically see in a tech review channel, for better or for worse.
I
So
think
yeah,
I think for us, it's definitely going to feel a little more hands on,
yeah,
a little
yeah,
more.
and that's important. I mean, that's how that's it's like I was talking to someone. My philosophy about like tech coverage in general is I'm a very experiential person. Like I
Right.
want to know how this device actually works. I don't want to just see like the hang on, let me turn on the review cam again. I don't want no, stop it. I don't want to edit the name. I want to okay. So I don't want to just see like the iPhone 14 is one of the most amazing phones you've ever
Yeah.
seen. And
Yeah.
for those of you who are listening, like I just passed the phone in front of the camera, like B-roll style, like,
Like it's on
um,
one of those sliding rails
yeah,
that you get the
exactly.
B-roll
Like,
shots with. Well, that's actually what I was going to say is that when I say hands-on, I think it's going to feel a little more rough around the edges and not as polished as something that you might be used to from
yeah,
what one of the not necessarily video podcasts, but from some of the tech reviews that you see. But
but that's fine.
that there's
That's
room
that's our
for
brand.
all. Right,
That's
exactly.
yeah,
And that those are not done live. Those are done with a lot of with editors and people who are really great with motion graphics and video editing. And I think
and we can't
over
afford those people.
well, right, exactly. So, but I do think you're going to see some more changes to like but we're going to have an intro and some things that you probably won't see on this first video, I'm guessing.
No.
By the time that right, we'll see. But yeah, so we'll have some stuff coming in the future, and like the review cam that Adam's got there. I just don't have the room to set up a review cam live and then also have my green screen. So
Yeah, so
I
we're gonna
this
work with it. We're gonna
yeah,
play with
yeah,
it.
exactly. I'm not even going to say too much except that you will see content like that from me, but it may not
Yeah.
be live. So
Yeah, great. And all right, cool. So I think that is going to do it for this new episode of season 4 of the podcast. I guess technically this would be like episode 3 of season 4 because we had
right.
the one like middle of beginning of August, and I think we had one around the middle of August. So that is going excuse me, sorry, that is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Cut that out of the high quality feed. Yeah, please consider subscribing to the podcast. And again, if you're into the video content, I think YouTube is going to be the place that you're going to want to come. You're going to want to come subscribe, and that is benefit youtube.com/benefit of the doubt. So you're going to want to make sure you go there, subscribe to this in your podcast feed. If you happen to stumble across us in the barren wasteland that is discoverability of podcasts and podcast players. But no, I mean, subscribe to the show wherever you listen to your podcast, but definitely check out YouTube. And I'm not saying that the podcast feed is not worth listening to. It will be. Like, you won't hear that burp that I just did, for example. But I think YouTube is going to be the best place to experience this podcast going forward. So is that great? Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? We're going to find out together, because for now, that is going to do it for this episode of the podcast. Please like and subscribe. Please comment, hit the thumbs up, smash that bell, send us an email, send us a comment, send us your firstborn child Actually, no, I don't want any more kids. So don't
We
send
found
me
that out
your
tonight.
children. No, yeah.
That was before we started, but yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So, but send us your Lego. If you have any extra Lego, you can send us your Lego, and we'll put those together for you on the air, and that'll be great.
Yeah.
Will we do some speed builds? Maybe. I don't know.
Mm.
I don't know. I haven't gotten a Lego set in a while, actually.
We've been talking about some crazy ideas, which we may or may not do. But
yeah, and most likely not. but a couple of them might come through. And you know what? There might be an interview. We might, get an interview with, someone from, MediaTek or something, and so we'll do stuff like that too. So and really the sky's the limit. It kind of goes back to what I used to say on the podcast version of the show. It's my show. I can kind of do what I want. So if Cliff and I decide we want to interview somebody, then we're going to do that too.
Exactly.
And it's going to show up on the YouTube channel. So like, subscribe, smash, yada yada yada. This podcast is out.